Hi everybody, welcome back to C is for Cars. Last episode, I think there was only like 30 views because we tried some different stuff. But basically, Miles of Mayhem, we're doing a gross, what is, yuck. Miles of Mayhem, we're doing a drag and drive on my 79 Fairmont. Last episode, you've seen me kind of start prepping stuff and get things going. At the end, you've seen Mason come to help. Through the power of technology and all this new stuff, we were able to lose absolutely every bit of footage after that moment. So after it says to be continued, it sure didn't. So let me walk you around and show you what happened. We got a lot done on the list. There's a list. Go watch the first episode if you want, but we got to dive into it. I got less than, I guess, about a month and a half until Miles of Mayhem. So let's dive in. I'll show you what we did. All right, guys, here is the list. Clutch, boom, done. It's in. You can notice over here it says flex plate bolts. That's because Mason broke some off of my flywheel, but he managed to get it out really easy. I gave him the wrong torque specs, not his fault. Flex plate bolts, so that's in, clutch is in. 410 rear end, got a 410 rear end in there. Used to be 273s, went to a 410, just way easier on the whole drive line than a 273 at a launch. If you dump the clutch, if you're dumping clutches, you got a 273, you got a 410. The mechanical advantage to a 410 is going to be way easier on your drive line, and you'll light them up way easier. Line lock is coming from Jags, and it's not here yet, so nope. Clean up engine bay gaskets. I thought it was the water pump gaskets that went, but actually the water pump. I got a water pump. Exhaust is just kind of, there's a couple points that were pinched, so it's leaking a little bit, not huge. Got to do that. Slicks I haven't got yet. Balance. Front wheels haven't done yet. Got to do wheel bearings. Just repack them. Wheel bearings. Can you read that? I can't. That's fine. So I'm gonna kind of walk you around what we did. I got to button up the diff still. I got to do axle seals. I don't have any silicone or any RTV to do the diff cover, so I need to get some. But we can do that. I could probably put the transmission crossmember back in because it's not in. And water pump. I don't know if I just mentioned the water pump, but I can do that. I got that too. But we'll start by walking around what we did. A couple pointers, and then we'll get into doing some axle seals, I think. So let's do that. All right, guys. Here's a quick gander. Transmission is back in. Clutch is in. 410 rear end speedo gear is in. As you can see, the crossmember is not in. Oh, I gotta add that to the list. I have the Driveshaft Loop I gotta do. So transmission, clutch, done. Come back here. Completely, when I did the gears, my dad came over, he helped me. We did all new bearings, all new, like everything's good. And nice new 410 rear gear, which again, like I said, is going to be such a huge help on just kind of being easier on all my parts. So I guess let's get these old wheel seals out. We'll start here, put the axles back in, go from there. Okay. So a lot of people already know I'm already gross, but the easiest way to get the old seals out is you take your axle. It's gonna have this little lip on here. See that? That's a lip. We'll put it right on our old seal up in here, and we'll just pry her out. Boom, done. A little bit of gunk. A little bit of gunk. Oh, a little bit of grease. I'll show you what that grease is for. You're gonna grease inside here, or put some grease because there's a little spring that when you're beating the new one on, You want to grease in there so that spring doesn't fly out. So grease is going to kind of keep it retained. I am going to kind of wipe this down in here. Bearings look good. I'm gonna wipe it down in there. Gonna grease my new seal and we'll put it in, I think. Would be the plan, wouldn't it? So, okay. Just real quickly, this little, can you see it in there? There's a little spring is what I was talking about. This is why we grease this. So when you're giving her the old knocks, that spring doesn't come out. Because then you're just sad. I'm sad, you're sad, everyone's sad about it. So I'm gonna grease it. It's the sound of the hammer throwing this in. I'll be right back. Okay. That seal is all greased up, just sitting in there. I have, sometimes use a socket. I have this flat, large metal piece. It also works. Metal on metal, nice and flush. I'm gonna go throw that other one in, and then I'll throw the axles back in. Cool. Sick. All right, guys, both sides are in. Seals. I got this axle in. We'll just throw this one in. So you just feed her in, and you'll kind of feel, you kind of have to lift the end up as you go in, and you'll feel it slide in. You give her a push, and you'll see the axle actually come. There'll be some showing, I guess is what I'm saying, the axle end. Throw your C-clip back in, which can be, if you have big fingers, a little annoying. Pull it out. Yep. The next C-clip. Same thing. Push the axle till you see the end. Come out. Protrude. Pull her back. Nice. We're gonna rotate the diff so we can throw C-clip retainer in. I think that C-clip retainer, this goes down into it, bolt goes through. Rotate it back. Then you put the little bolt into the retainer. You'll know if it's right because it'll go in, which it's not. I'll spin it a little bit. Boom. And we'll tighten that up. And then the axles are back in. And then we have 410 rear end. So, nice. I don't, like I said, I don't have silicone or RTV, so I can't, it came with a gasket. My dad always never used any gaskets that came with it. He always used silicone. So it's what I know, it's what I learned. I'm just gonna throw silicone on. Obviously not today. I'll button that up. Let's move on to something else. Maybe lift that transmission up, put that transmission cross member back in. I can put the drive shaft in, and we can kind of see where my drive shaft loop is going to fit. That sounds good. Let's do that. All right, so I got the old transmission jack, jacking up the transmission and engine. You don't want to go and get yourself a shitty piece of wood. You want to go find the least shitty piece of wood you have. So it's fine. All good. This exhaust pipe is gonna make things dumb, but we'll do it. The bushings on this Crossmember are not great. Oh, that went in easy. Am I backwards? You betcha. Okay, have your bolts ready before you do this. Make it easier for sure. Yeah. Now it seems like these are the only ones it could be. So I'm sure they are. Whoa. Yes, sir, that seems right. Right? Sure does. Take it easy. Might have to go a little bit more of a... Oh yeah. Nice. We'll drop our jack on a very highly calibrated piece of wood. Nice. I will button this up. Should I do exhaust now? I don't want to. That's fine. So I won't. Where'd that bolt go? That's fine. I'll button all this up. We'll put the drive shaft on and just kind of see where the loop is going to fit. It's for a Foxbody, the loop I got from Summit Racing. Super reasonable deal on it, I thought. And we will mark out where it's going to go. It's made for a Foxbody. I can see where I think it should go. I think it's at 4 inches past this. It's going to be a little more. Nope, no it's not. That'd be about 4 inches, eh? About 4 inches, right? That's 4 inches. So, like I said, I'm going to button all this up. And we'll get the drive shaft, and then we're going to see what we're going to see. All right, so this is buttoned up, as you can see. Drive shaft is in. Hanging here is part of the hoop. This is the other part. Now I'm kind of thinking, and there is instructional videos, so I should probably make sure that like what they're thinking is what I'm thinking. But I feel like it sure wants to sit right. That's not straight, right there. To me. Now it is hanging, the drive shaft is hanging low because the rear suspension is unloaded. So it should never really be that low ever. It'll be higher. It seems like to me that's exactly where it's gonna wanna be, where it's gonna wanna live. And I don't know, even if it's not, it seems like it's gonna be way safer than not. Maybe I'll check their video and make sure that's what they think, but. So that should work just fine. I think it comes with hardware. I'm gonna check out their video, see how they do it. Probably mark some holes. I need a bunch of hardware all over, so I'm probably gonna mark these holes, run to town, and probably in the morning, early tomorrow morning, we're gonna get on this Driveshaft Loop, and then we're gonna get on the water pump, and then we're gonna get on this exhaust, which isn't super high on my priority list, so I think that's what we're gonna do. I am going to watch this video, figure out where this goes for sure. Probably mark some holes, maybe drill some holes. It says to remove the carpet because you're probably gonna snag up a whole bunch of carpet with your bit as soon as you go through here, but so I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna wreck a bit. And yeah, like I said, I will be back first thing tomorrow morning where we will probably just get after it and probably get everything I have here done. I think. So that's what we're doing. Right on, guys, thanks. Excuse me. Well, it is the morning of the next day after I said it would be the, it's now. This is when I said. I don't know what I got. I got RTV for that rear diff, and that's about it. I think I'm gonna start bolting together that flippin', boy, it's early, isn't it? I'm gonna start doing something. Driveshaft loop. I'm gonna bolt together 2 pieces as it says in the constructions, and then we're gonna kind of find out a spot for it. Then I think we're gonna start drilling holes and stuff. So that's where we're at. Let's all right. All right, I don't know exactly how much you can see. Where's the actual, there it is. All right, I think this needs to be offset towards passenger side as per the constructions. You betcha. Geez, that light I put on the floor is certainly bright. Put in the old pouch. Yeah. So if you're watching this and you're like, man, I don't know anything about cars. For one, I don't even know why I'm watching this channel right now. I don't know much about it. Maybe you're like, man, I know stuff about cars, but I don't get why you have a driveshaft loop. Well, it's a rule. Go down a racetrack. I think it's a certain time, or maybe it's just if you're running slicks. If either your U-joint snap or something on your driveshaft snaps, and you're doing 7,000 RPM or something or more, I won't be doing 6,000. But if it snaps at that RPM, your drive shaft's going to start making a mess of things quick. This is just a little safety loop so that if it does decide to go kaplowy, it's going to somewhat maybe contain the carnage, so it's not so crazy. And I want to, it says to secure. Why am I putting this up here? Probably. Oh yeah, right in there somewhere. Seems like. Hey, yeah, probably. It says about 4 inches from the something or other. I'm going to tighten these bolts up and then mark some holes, and we're going to drill it, and I'm going to put this in right on. All right, guys, loop is in. Ooh, there she is. It is at a bit of an angle. They said to add spacers, but to me, kind of follows the line of the drive shaft. Now maybe this is a big no-no, that it's, you know, kind of like this instead of flat, but it's secure as heck. It ain't going anywhere, so I think I'm cool with that. What does that leave? Well, that leaves well, let's look at the list. Come on over. Come on over. Well, all right, so I actually didn't do anything for the list at all because I didn't have driveshaft loop on here. So, cool. I guess I'm gonna probably go hang out with the fam jam for a while, and either later this afternoon, this morning, tomorrow morning, I am going to do that water pump. Boom. Line lock, supposed to be here on like Tuesday, and when this video comes out, currently it's Saturday. So line lock will be some other time. I can clean up the engine, gaskets, coolant, comes back to water pump. Exhaust, I could probably do wheel bearings. I don't know if I have grease. Oof, dropping the ball. And then maybe we'll start getting together some extra parts that I have laying around and balance front wheels. So, yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna, when I come back, we're gonna do the water pump. That's what I'm getting at. If I would just stop talking about it. It's up here. So, right now. All right, guys, here's the next day, as I thought it might be. So, we're gonna do the water pump on my little small block Ford. A couple things you're gonna need when you do that. Water pump, a new water pump gasket, a nice cold frosty beverage. And I'm gonna tear into it. I'm gonna take the belt off, gonna take the fan off, and then hoses. And I'm gonna make a mess all over the floor. And well, there already is one because this has been weeping, just crazy. Before I left yesterday, I opened the drain valve, so rad's empty. But there's still gonna be some coolant in there. And yeah, so I'm gonna do what I just said I was gonna do all that. And that'll probably wrap it up for this weekend. There's some stuff I still got to do underneath that I haven't done, like starter still not hooked up, and exhaust. But I think maybe next weekend, maybe during the week, I'll get in here, button some things up. And then I just got to fill diff with fluid, transmission with fluid, check the clutch, make sure it's adjusted right, it's self-adjusting, but just kind of make sure it feels good. And then I'm just waiting for line lock. And so that'll be a video. I think it comes in this week. And then just slicks. And then that'll be everything. We'll probably take her out on the road a couple times and just really shake her down, make sure we're all happy and all good. And yeah, so I'm gonna tear into this. I will see you back in a second when I'm a little further along. Right on. The old one is out. A little bit gross. But I should check and make sure I got the right one first. I would say so. Slightly smaller ports. No, ports are the same. This doodabber is a little different. So it kind of pinches off the port size of that. But I'm gonna clean up in here in the engine. Can I show you? So she's a little bit grimy. You know, that old gasket's got to all come off nice and clean. And once that's done, we'll throw this new one in. I'm gonna also take all these bolts that were used in it to the wire wheel, clean them up real nice. I'm gonna put thread sealant, industrial petroleum thread sealant on all these when they go back in. And yeah, allow me to do that and we'll stick her back in. Right on. Also retrieve all the stuff I dropped down in my pool of coolant. Right arm. Boy, she is windier than Dorothy's house in Kansas right now. Like, man, look through my dirty ass window. So windy. That's Alberta these days. Anyways, new pump is in. I'm gonna tighten her down evenly, crossways, you know, boop, 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 boop. Thinking, well, you know, tight's tight. But I got one of these. I got a Haynes manual. So I'm looking, cooling, heating, blah, blah, blah. torque specs for cooling and heating. Water pump to block. V8 engine, 12 to 18 foot-pounds. Does it need to be 12 to 18 foot-pounds? No. Am I going to do it 12 to 18 foot-pounds? Probably, because I don't know, why not? So I'm going to get them buttoned up and some hoses back on. All right, guys, belts are on. I'm done mostly. Something that's been bugging me for a while is this thermostat housing right here. It comes off at kind of like a 45. I stole it from my 67 Merc, I think, when I got this car back on the road. So this upper rad hose is meant to have a 90 out of the intake, as you can probably tell, and it's kind of been like this, which is kind of bastardized and ugly. So instead of throwing this back on, I'm just gonna, it's like 20 bucks. Let's get a new 90-degree thermostat housing, get that hose sitting right. But man, new water pump looks good in there. And honestly, that should save all our coolant issues. So then that's a big positive, especially when we're driving. As far as we're going to be from Miles of Mayhem, you don't want to be filling up with coolant all the time. So nice. All right, let's cross some stuff off here. Water pump. Yeah, we're done that. Clean up the engine. Not really. Gaskets was going to be the water pump gasket, which was leaking coolant. So I guess I should add on here somewhere. Off of clean up engine. Thermostat housing and gasket. But listen, I mean, we're cruising pretty good. Clutch is done, water pump's done, rear gear is done. This is 5-minute, 10-minute, 15-minute job. Exhaust, if we get to it, for sure. Slicks, yes, this is like priority right now. Balanced front wheels and wheel bearings. That's like a half-star priority rating right there, which just makes the little stool as a half-star. Extra parts, pretty important. I got some extra U-joints. I have extra axles. I don't really have an extra engine or transmission and stuff like that, but just stuff that probably will break. I got extra axles, so then you have extra, you know what I'm trying to say right now. Wheel studs. You have extra wheel studs in there, axles, all that stuff. Well, I don't know. We're just not going to break anything, so that's important too. So I'm going to get thermostat housing. We're going to get line lock this week, so that'll be on the next video, probably with exhaust, probably do wheel bearings, and that'll be the next video, I guess. And then we should be ready to rock and roll and do the thing. So, you know, happy Tuesday. We'll see you next Tuesday. We're that much closer to Miles of Mayhem. Is going to be the 18th on Tuesday, so that's like a month away. We're a month away, and we're in pretty good shape. It'd be nice to get out maybe to Rad Torque or Rimby and get a little, you know, a couple test hits done on a street legal Friday night or something. But like I said, that'll do it for today. So cheers to you. We'll see you next Tuesday. God, that is good. There's so much more than fun on the list even, so that's pretty good.